for Dot, everybody, until she's up here.
Thank you very much. Notice this is all guys thinking up this. And I had 2 sons. They just, not girls. Anyway, I spent the scariest night of my life 60 miles from here in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Now, I don't know what the Pine Barrens, it's just swampland. But my husband's family, and I married into this family, it's a second marriage, has a cabin on the Rancocas Creek in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. It is the most remote you can be and still be in New Jersey. The cabin has no running water, no inside plumbing, that means. It has an outhouse. It has no electricity. You couldn't get cell phone reception at the time this happened. And their property is basically 17 acres of reconstituted swampland. It's a great place. And when you're down there with a bunch of people, and it's in its 3rd generation. This cabin was built in the 30s, burned down, rebuilt in the 40s. And it's a stone's throw from the creek where you go down to get a bucket of water to wash the dishes. And I had never been there overnight or with just my husband and I. We were always there when there were 40 or 50 people and party going on. Anyway, the road, the driveway to the cabin is basically a 1/4 mile of just 2 ruts in the sand and grass. And you go in and you come upon a clearing where there's sand and the beach and the house, etc. I got the bright idea. I was minding my nephew, who was about 12 at the time, and John's youngest son was about 13. And I got the bright idea, let's take the kids down for the weekend and spend the night. So we have a great day, and the kids decide they're going to sleep in this, what's called the bug house. And it's basically a gazebo sort of thing with a tin roof and screened walls. And it's about 500 yards from the cabin, down a wooded pine path. You can hear from the gazebo, but you can't see it. So we get the kids settled down. One of them wanted to keep a flashlight on, one of them didn't, and my husband had to go out and negotiate keeping the thing off. He comes back to the cabin, and it's a moonlit night, and he decides it would be romantic to take me for a walk down this driveway into the Pine Barrens and look up at the moon. We get not 10 feet down this path, and I reached out, grabbed his arm, and he'll tell you that the fingernail marks are just going away now. And that feeling you get when you jump into a cold pool of water and you come up gasping for air, that's exactly how I felt. And I just said to him, John, there could be a lunatic in the woods watching us. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, and I was a lunatic. So he started telling me, there's this Jersey Devil story. And I said, I know that Jersey Devil is not real. This could be a lunatic. If you've ever seen the movie In Cold Blood, it starts with somebody looking at the house. That's all I've ever seen of that movie. I can't watch any other. I grew up on a dead-end street in Queens, and I am a street person. I know I can walk wherever I want at night. I know where not to walk. And in New York City, when I grew up in the 60s and 70s, it was never dark. You had high crime lights. So it wasn't that feeling. Anyway, I got him back to the cabin, And I spent the entire night not sleeping, but strategizing on where I would go if the lunatic came after us first. And I kept waking John up to say, do you think the lunatic would go after the kids first? And then I debated, if I heard the kids screaming, would I go out and help them? No, they're already dead. At one point, I made John get out of bed and get a cast iron frying pan from the kitchen that he could hit the lunatic over the head with. There was two windows in the bedroom. One opened onto the ground, and the other one opened onto the porch. I actually got into, should I lock this door? No. Should we lock the front door? No, because if the lunatic came in one door, I went on and on and on. Finally, around 5:15, I was able to close my eyes. John and I eventually went back again. We took the dog, and we slept up in the attic. There's a rail, a wood stairway to get up to the attic. And I noticed he had brought a half a gallon of vodka. And I said, what are you going to do with that? He said, well, I figured if you drink it, it didn't help. I was going to hit you over the head with it.
Dot, everybody.